needed more of an indication of the criminal nature of the Conservative Party. It's been exposed by a CBC investigation through documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Act that Lynn Redford, the sister of Alberta Premier Alison Redford, attended Progressive Conservative Party events at public expense and helped organize the annual Tory barbecue while she was the senior executive at the Calgary Health Region. She was actually using state money intended for healthcare to assist the Conservative Party of Canada. Redford attended the Conservative Party at a general meeting in Edmonton, several fundraisers, including the Premier's dinner, a golf tournament, and a fundraiser for Tory MLA David Courtois. Documents show that she attended these functions all or in part at the health region's expense, claiming fundraiser tickets, travel costs, mileage, hotel rooms, and even more than $200 for liquor for a Tory barbecue. It actually gets much worse. In 2005, Redford also bought 4 tickets at $75 each to a Calgary Elbow Tory fundraiser at the Palomino Smokehouse in Calgary. Ralph Klein was the representative riding. Now, in the midst of all of this blatant corruption on the part of Conservatives, on Monday afternoon, the AHS released a statement saying that Redford was in a political role when she worked under the former Calgary Health Region. Policies and practices of the former health regions were not well defined and were open to interpretation. This is not the case at the AHS. The policies and practices have been clarified and formalized in written policy. Ms. Redford and the Calgary Health Region were meeting the expectations and norms at the time. When AHS was created, Ms. Redford took on new responsibilities, including a new role since Premier Redford was elected. Now, the Calgary Herald also reported that the current AHS president, Dr. Chris Eagle, expensed the cost of a premier's dinner to a fundraiser in Calgary in 2011. This included a limousine and airfare. The former AHS board, Ken Hughes, who is now energy minister, publicly apologized for approving that expense. Now, this whole incident actually shows just how commonplace corruption is within conservatives in politics. Like, this was all over the place, and like clearly people knew about it, and they were just kind of looking the other way. Well, everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. And that's basically the mentality of the people who are doing this. They're stealing dollars meant for health care and using that to basically party. Oh, buy tickets to a fundraiser. So they're just taking money intended for healthcare and giving it to conservatives. I don't know if that's ironic or appropriate. After all, conservatives seem hell-bent on just destroying any kind of healthcare that helps people whatsoever in order to get it privatized. Is this another one of their blatant defunding programs? Like one of their schemes? Defund healthcare and then turn around and say, oh, look, private healthcare doesn't work. Well, no healthcare works if you defund it or it doesn't have money coming in. It just seems terribly appropriate for them. And also this speaks a lot about why the Conservatives want to get the CBC shut down. Well, when they go and do investigations like this and point us to such blatant fraud and corruption within the Conservative Party, regardless of what province it's actually in, of course they want to take it down. I mean, the Conservative attack on the CBC should be blatantly obvious to everyone by now. I mean, they went around all the time during the entire Liberal leadership, not that I support the Liberals, I don't, but they went around the entire Liberal leadership saying, oh, the CBC is just a propaganda outlet for the government and they control it like a dictatorship and it just spouts whatever it is that the government wants them to say. And then turn around and have the absolute, complete opposite, supposedly, when the Conservatives are in power. But they just said that it was a state propaganda machine for the government. Now they are the government, and what, it's criticizing the government? You mean the state media, which is supposedly so bad because it's owned by the government, it's criticizing the government and releasing things like this? Well, no kidding. You mean the state broadcaster is doing exactly what it's supposed to do and keeping checks on people in power? Exactly what it is that they said that it wouldn't do because it's state-owned? Ridiculous. Now, Redford also expensed a breakfast with her sister Alison a couple months after she was first elected in 2008. Just more state money spent. Now, just under Alberta law, it's illegal for publicly funded institutions, including the Calgary Health Region, to make political donations. And that's exactly what this is. This is literally taking money out of the health system and putting it right into the hands of the Conservative Party. How typical is that? Well, not so much typical as appropriate. Frankly, find everyone who did this, regardless of what their political stripe is, and I say throw them in prison for this. You steal healthcare dollars to pay for your lavish, elitist, conservative meetings? Oh my God. And they have the audacity to actually go around and talk about entitlement programs. Oh, welfare people say they're entitled to just take whatever they want. Welfare people don't get very much at all. Yet these are the people going around taking $75 4 times to go to a fundraising dinner to hand it over to their friends who are already rich. Their friends who already represent the ruling elite, who already represent the financial aristocracy. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is so typical. Attack anybody who says, I want to be able to go to a doctor. I want to not starve to death, and call them like, oh, entitlements. Oh, they're so bad because they don't want to have, because they don't want to starve to death or not be able to see a doctor. And you have stuff like this. This is so adequately the conservative mentality, man.